Okay, so you've just got your macros and your calories from your coach, and you're wondering, what the hell do I do next? I don't even know what tracking is. Well, stick around. I'll take you through some of the basics, how to track and what to track, and how to do it as best as you can to get the results that you want. Before we get into the details of actually tracking the foods that you're eating, here's a quick overview of different ways of tracking. So first and foremost, you can track your total calories and just your total calories, and you'll still lose weight. The other way of doing it is to track total calories and protein. This is very beneficial for individuals that are trying to lose body fat and still retain their muscle mass, because protein is obviously very important for retaining muscle mass and helping you recover from strength training. It also helps satiate you and keep you fuller for longer. So this is a very good way of tracking calories and protein to help you with your body composition change. The other ways are to track your full macronutrient range and your total calories. So that would be proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. These are suited to individuals with a bit more training experience or with specific goals, where you want to focus whether or not they want more fats or more carbs, depending on their training and their experience levels. The other one is then to track ranges, and you can do ranges of calories. So total calories, you could have 2,000 calories ranging to 2,200 calories. You can do it over different days to create a little bit more flexibility for some individuals, but still obviously staying within weekly and monthly targets. And also you can have ranges with proteins and fats and carbs as well. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do I track and what do I use to track? And no, don't worry, you don't have to use a notepad and pen. There are lots of apps available to help you do it, and they're really easy to use. Some of the heavy hitters to download for free and use are MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, and Nutritrek here in the UK. There are a lot of other brands available. Some of them you have to pay off the bat to use, but those three I mentioned, I believe at this point of making this video, they're free to use on kind of the entry level features. If you want to unlock other premium features, obviously you have to sign up for a monthly subscription. And as an example, MyFitnessPal, to unlock the barcode scanning feature, you need to have a premium membership with them. Otherwise, you have to input your foods and search for them manually, which we'll go through in a bit more detail in a second. Now, if you're working with me and my team, you don't have to worry about downloading or searching for tracking apps. It's all included in the service in your training app with us. But if you aren't working with us and you want to use an app for the first time, then I'd always recommend going with MyFitnessPal. It's been around the longest, very easy to use. And yeah, I've always only used the free service. I've never paid to use it. And it's massively helped me with tracking my calories over the years. So once you've decided what app you're going to use, the next step is going to be putting in your target. So whether that's the total calorie target we spoke about earlier, or your total calories and your protein, or all the macronutrients, the proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. You'll put them into the app as your targets, and these are going to be the ones that you're working towards with your food tracking. So as you scan in your foods or you search for the food you're eating, you'll save them into the app, and then it will pull the data through, so you don't have to work out the macros or the macronutrients that you're eating. The apps will do that. All that information is saved under those foods from that database, and it will give you the totals throughout the course of the day. So you can see how far off you are from achieving your targets throughout the day and also at the end of the day. And then over the course of the week, you can then review back against these. This is why it's so efficient at helping you lose body fat and changing your body composition. So one big thing to consider when you are tracking, as I said a few moments ago, is don't track at the end of the day, because more often than not, you'll forget something that you had. And then obviously you're not getting all of the calories you've eaten, so you're not getting a good picture of what you're consuming. And then you'll start wondering, why am I not losing weight? And then we'll actually realize later, oh, actually I had way more calories than I realized, and I'm not in a calorie deficit and I'm not losing weight. So I'd always say, especially in the beginning, it's important to track as you go throughout the course of the day, because then you have a snapshot at every meal, how many calories you have left, how much protein you need to eat, or how many fats and carbs you need to consume to stay within your ranges. The other thing to consider when you're searching for the food you're eating or you're scanning the barcode of the food you're having is to make sure that the food you are selecting from the database is accurate and that it matches what you're consuming. Sometimes the databases aren't accurate and they can be massively out, which is why it's important just to double check everything before you save it into your app, because obviously that can have a big impact in you making progress. Also, another note on accuracy, a lot of the foods on the database will come with a verification tick on them, which means they are correct and the information or the nutritional information with that food is correct. So you can rest assured that when you input it, it's accurate and it's matching the food that you're consuming. You will even be able to make meals and save meals for quick adding. So if there's something you're having on a regular basis, you can weigh it all out, cook it, have it, enjoy it that one time. And then you know that the other times that you have it, you know exactly what the portions are, you know how much the weight of each ingredient was that went into it. So you don't have to go through that process over and over again. Once you've done it and you're having it the same every time, it's gonna save you a ton of time. You just swipe and add that meal in and you're gonna have the accurate calories and macronutrients for that meal. So obviously with all this tracking, you're gonna need to invest in a set of kitchen scales that you're gonna put your dinner plate on or your lunch plate on, whatever you're eating your food from, you're gonna rest that on your scales. And then as you add each food or item that you're gonna consume to that plate, you're gonna have the reading of how much it weighed, and that is what you're gonna input into the app. So as an example, I place a cooked chicken breast on my plate, it weighs 120 grams. I'm gonna go to my app, I'm gonna search for chicken breast cooked, however I cooked it, whether it's pan fried, air fried, oven cooked, was it with butter, was it with oil? So I'm gonna try and be as accurate as possible. Again, I'm gonna search for those items. When I found them and I've verified them, the information is correct, I'll then save that to the meal at the right weight, 120 grams. And I'll do the same process for every item on my plate. And I've got the correct number of calories that I'm consuming. And when you first start tracking and doing this every day, it's an incredible awareness tool. You will be blown out of your seat thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't realize there were that many calories in that. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of fat. So it was an incredible awareness tool about your diet. So after the first week, you're going to be very well informed and you'll actually start to make better choices off the back of it without even getting more accurate with your tracking, because you would have done essentially a very accurate food log and seeing what you're consuming, and you'll know exactly how many calories are going in. So you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great at home, but how do I do all of that at work or when I'm with friends or going out for dinner? So don't stress. You don't have to be 100% accurate all the time. Being as accurate as you can in that situation is going to be massively beneficial to you still. So for instance, if you are out and about during the day and you just buy a sandwich from the shop, again, you can scan the barcode and pull the data through. Or if you can't find an exact match, the closest match possible will still be very, very good. So like a hot dog or something, or a burger from somewhere that you don't have the nutritional information to, you can't find it in the database, just by searching the closest possible match you can find will be accurate enough for you. And if you're eating out at restaurants, a lot of them now have the total calories for each meal on the menu, or you can ask them for that information if they have it available. But if they don't have that total calorie information available, you can then kind of estimate, and you'll get better at this the more experience you get with tracking. You can estimate kind of how many calories are in that meal, and you can make choices based on knowing that information. So I know, for instance, if I go into a restaurant, order a burger and chips, that's high fat, high carb, and it's a lot of calories. Whereas if I went in and had, okay, maybe I'll go for the white fish and potatoes and vegetables, I know it's going to be a little bit more moderate in calories, but that comes with experience and practice. So if you are a little bit more experienced with tracking, or you feel more confident with tracking, and that you can, at a restaurant, for instance, estimate the amount of protein, fats, and carbs in a meal, and maybe you don't have the total calories, but you still feel that you can estimate those numbers, then what you can do on the app, and this is what I teach all my members, is you can search for the proteins, the fats, and carbohydrates. So the verified macronutrients on the app, the tracking app that you're using. So protein will come up with a little verified tick next to it. Same for carbohydrates and the same for fats. And you just input the number of grams that you think or estimate will be in that meal. And then you'll have a pretty close estimate of the total number of calories as well as the macronutrients in that meal that you're having. And that data is going to be very, very useful than not doing any estimates whatsoever. But if that all sounds a little bit too much when you're out and about with friends or socializing and you don't want to track, don't worry, I'm going to do a separate video on non-tracking approaches when out eating with friends and socializing or with work that will help keep you on track. Now, if you're working with us, all your nutritional information will be pulling through onto our database where we can analyze it on a weekly and monthly basis and look at averages of the amount of protein you're eating, the amount of fats you're having, the amount of carbohydrates you're eating. how many total calories you're consuming, how often you're going over your targets or how often you're going under. And we can review those averages and then adjust your calories based on that information. Now, if you're not working with us, I highly recommend doing something similar to this. And you only need to use a really basic spreadsheet. It just needs to list the date, the macronutrients, and total calories. And then what you can do is month to month or week to week, you can look at the averages and actually see what you're consuming. You'll be surprised how easy it is for those calories to add up and also lead to you slowing down in weight loss or not seeing any progress at all. So just to summarize, tracking is one of the most efficient ways to help you change your body composition, drop fat, build muscle, and to also recover from training and improve your training performance. And the level of your results will be dictated by the quality and accuracy of your tracking. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you have any other questions, drop them below. And if you're interested in working with me and my team, hit the link in the comments and I'll see you soon.